space. Mimi nikiwa daktari ambaye anapigana na hili janga la saratani pamoja na madaktari wenzangu, Dr. Nderitu yuko hapa, on behalf ya madaktari wote katika nchi hii, wale tunawaita front line officers. Na si madaktari tu, bali wale wote ambao wanahusika, hata wauguzi, wale counselors, social workers, wale ambao wanaweza pia kugundua, pathologists, laboratory specialists. Mimi ningependa kushukuru Mwenyezi Mungu siku hii ya leo. Kila wakati mimi hupenda kuanza maongeo yangu kupitia hadithi ambayo ni zile shida wagonjwa wanapitia klinikini. Tumepata nafasi kuweza kuhusika katika matibabu. Na ninajua wale ambao siku ya kwanza wakielezwa kuwa umejulikana kuwa na ugonjwa wa saratani, machozi ni mengi. Wangapi walilia hiyo siku ya kwanza? Leo ningependa tulie machozi ya nini? Ya furaha. Na leo sitaongea sana kuhusu wakati ule, bali tuweze kuongea kuhusu sherehe tulio nayo leo hii tukishukuru Mwenyezi Mungu, si ndio? Na ningependa pia kusema asante kwa sababu ya nyinyi ambao mumehusika katika kupigana ili uwezekano ya kutibu ugonjwa huu ukue katika nchi yetu. Cancer advocates, tukiongezwa na chairman wetu na executive director wa KENCO pamoja na board ya KENCO na wale CSOs wote. Leo ninasema with confidence kuwa kama nyinyi amungehusika wakati huu, probably hatungekuwa mahali tulipo, because nyinyi ndio mnajua mahali kuna uchungu zaidi, si ndio? You know where the rubber meets the road. And therefore, when you stood firm and spoke in loud voices, I always say I cannot talk about cancer journey and successes without mentioning the civil society, without mentioning the cancer experts who, more than a decade ago, with a lot of passion, they faced the leadership in this country and asked that we should speak a different language. We should have a different conversation. We should make sure that we address this problem with the seriousness that it deserves. Ni wakati hule mulisimama mukashika mabango vile mmetembea leo in our streets, wakati hule na serikali ikasikiza kupitia kwa Wizara ya Afya. Hiyo ndio wakati serikali ilijitolea ikahakikisha kuwa lazima tuweke resources ili tuweze kuaddress this problem with the seriousness it deserves. Hiyo ndio sababu ulisikia Daktari Nderitu akitueleza kuwa miaka 10 na sasa hivi kuna tofauti mwingi. And I will tell you with also confidence, even internationally, regionally, we are a star country. We have made so much progress. Our stakeholders who are in the industry, Ms. Jackie Wambua will tell you, Roche spans across Africa and across the globe. Likewise to Pfizer, AstraZeneca, all those who are playing in that space. There is so much investment in our country right now. I was in a meeting recently and we were ranked with Egypt, South Africa, Morocco, and Algeria as the leading tier in cancer care in this region. So ningependa kusema you are lucky, even if we still have a few challenges. Ningependa tuweze kushukuru yale serikali imefanya kupitia Wizara ya Afya, kupitia the National Cancer Institute of Kenya, ambayo ilizinduliwa zaidi ya miaka 10 zilizopita ili iweze kuhusika na kupigana na hii janga one by one. Na ningependa kusema hivi, sasa tuko na uwezo afadhali. Hata ingeweza, tungependa tuweze kuwa na uwezo zaidi. But what we are able to do right now, one thing that I encourage my team, and speaking from a strategic position, we need to tighten the quality aspect of care. So that even as we move forward to continue providing care, what we really want to interest our people is even that care that we provide, let it be quality. So that we can have many people who are surviving. So that we can have many people who, if we don't provide that care across the continuum, they should not fall on the way. And as I speak to that point, shall we observe a minute of silence for our colleagues, our fellow patients who may fell off before today. Thank you. We loved them, and they had hope that they will live to the fullest of their time. But because of challenges that may have been inevitable, haikuwezekana. So tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu. From the National Cancer Institute of Kenya, we endeavor to work with you this journey. I remember when I assumed office, I called all the civil society organizations and I said, let's have a conversation. We have been delegated this responsibility and we have to work together. We have to work with the civil society. We have to work with all the partners, government and non-governmental. We have to work with private sector. We have to work with patients. And I promise to you that I cannot do, or NCI cannot do what you are doing. But with your strengths and the strengths and capacity within the National Cancer Institute of Kenya, we should win this battle together. How are we going to do that? I want to appreciate all the panelists who are here this afternoon. That was quite an engaging, and I can actually tell that we are speaking the same language. We are addressing this problem from different corners, looking at it across the entire continuum of care. Tunafanya hima na bidii, kila mtu amejitolea, na hilo ndilo wito wetu hapa leo, kuwa tuweze kufanya hima pamoja. Ningependa hata kushukuru our religious organization. I want to thank the leadership at the temple which our brother is from, that have blessed us with lunch this afternoon for our survivors. It means we are one family, and we are going to win this battle together. We want to make sure, a lot of us have talked about prevention. It is true, and it is the mood of this current government that we put more focus on prevention. My role at the National Cancer Institute of Kenya is to look for resources towards cancer space. When you hear Dr. Meli has supported us for Uber, you have actually used your resources to facilitate your own services, and that is how we should use taxpayers' money. Ama namna gani? Let our resources be able to address where the biggest problem is. And we are going to put all the efforts to make sure that there is a countrywide HPV vaccination. We have low-hanging fruits. Cervical cancer should not kill any lady, any woman, whether young or old, in our country. Other countries have done very well, and we are able to work with them closely to know what is the secret. Australian government is the first one leading to eliminate cervical cancer. We have targets. 2030, we have been given targets by WHO, which we are signatory to. And being a signatory, there are many initiatives towards cancer care, ambayo sisi lazima tuhakikishe tumeweza kuifikia. I also want to mention to you with confidence that cancer is a bit complicated. And it also takes personal responsibility. My work and my team and all of us is to communicate what you need to do. When you talk about early detection can only happen if we undergo screening. We have communicated. Therefore, I am calling all of us, survivors, and those who are watching, viewing, listening to us this afternoon. It is your responsibility to be screened for cancer. And we will sing this day and night. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, cervical cancer, cancer of the esophagus, colorectal cancer. We have modalities that we can use to make sure that we screen you, and some of them are very cheap. You know, a lot of time we talk about cost, but there are some screening modalities that cost 0 shillings, especially where there is capacity in our institutions. We have done a lot to make sure that our county governments have capacity in primary health care, beginning with enhancing capacities with a lot of partnerships. Let me single out the Empower Clinics and the First Ladies Forum for initiating this idea. And I've mentioned a lot of times to Her Excellency Dorothy Nyong'o, who with her family have been true champions and advocates of cancer space. Can we clap for them, please? When I was going for my postgraduate training, I shared with Madam Dorothy recently that I went to Africa Cancer Foundation and asked for funding because government was not able to fund my foreign training because they had become the light then. Fortunately, government heed my request and they funded my training outside this country. And right now, we are happy that we have capacity to train locally as we are building that capacity. Allow me to also, ladies and gentlemen, mention that the sacrifices that you've made as survivors is a true embodiment of hope for us, so that even as we invest resources, we know there is value. We know there are results. Any investor, when we are resource mobilizing, people ask for value. And I think the value is what we are seeing here today. The value is those of you who braved all the side effects, those of you who went through mutilating treatments, whether surgery or radiation, those of you who vomited, those of you who lost your hair, those of you who have complications that are lifetime. We celebrate you. We shall support you. We shall walk with you this journey to the end, and we will make it comfortable for you. I think that is the hope that we need to have today. And as we work towards winning this battle, I have mentioned again and again that we have so many mushrooming cancer centers across the country. And one of our roles is to provide standards and quality. We shall help you from a government perspective to make sure that when you go to a center, truly they have capacity across the continuum of care so that you do not get the wrong surgery for the wrong diagnosis. Has it happened before? So that you are not treated for breast cancer and later on you are told you didn't have cancer. Yet you have suffered a lot. It is our responsibility to make sure these institutions are established, they are running, and they are providing quality care for you. We also want to invite you as patients, and it is a global call right now that thou shalt not do anything unless patients are involved. And that is why we are having this discussion today, and we shall continue having it. I recently had a recruitment process at the National Cancer Institute of Kenya. And I insisted that we cannot have a staff which the patients themselves are not part of. And we were able to recruit some of you to be part of establishment at the National Cancer Institute of Kenya. They will share with us real experiences. They know the challenge they went through. We are also struggling with understanding ourselves. Do you know why sometimes you get treated and you probably get more side effects, and you wonder why me and someone else did not get that much side effects? We still are working towards understanding ourselves. And we have now committed resources into research. We are going to win this battle if we are a research-oriented country. And this research, patients should be part of this. Chairman Kenko, I want to ask that any research proposal that we are writing, and we are going to ask our research scientists, because you cannot conduct research as an individual, we should have patient voices. Last year, we had a research meeting in Mombasa, and I wrote to Kenko and I asked, we would like to sponsor 2 people from Kenko to be part of a workshop. And we had representation from Kenko. We are moving forward with that journey, because for sure, you have to be on the table when discussions are being undertaken. I also want to encourage you that we will be your true advocates to make sure you get quality medicine. We would like, even as we struggle towards survivorship, we want you to survive when you are not cursing that I better have died than to suffer complications that are more stressful than when you are alive. Are there some of us who've ever wondered whether that could be an option? Because people go through a lot of challenges. If you hear Uncle Zach mention that he lost family, so if you've lost family, I don't want to ask, but what I know is it has not been easy for him. But let's be his family. That's what I told him last time. And those who have joined him as we move forward. Because we have to work together, we have to encourage one another. We will work towards making sure you can access, for those who are going through treatment. I want to encourage Rachel and the team who have come out loudly. And I want to commit that I will do my best to get you to meet the president. I will use the networks that I have to make sure that happens. Because our president is accessible. Haven't you seen every time when he's meeting people in State House? And I know he would be willing to listen to you so that you can tell him what you are going through. All right? So I will work to keep my commitment and communicate through Kenko leadership. I listen to Hope giving us hope. And I see this young girl and I see hope. I see the future. Dr. Nderito, I think this young girl should be an oncologist in future. She should be hanging around Kenyatta Cancer Treatment Center doing advocacy and encouraging people with poems and songs, right? And we need more of such people. If all of us could do this in the premises where we find ourselves, then I am very certain we will win this battle sooner than we thought. I want to end by asking all of us, whether you've gone through the experience or not, the fact that we are here, then it means we have all committed we've all sacrificed to stand for each other. We have all created time. We are all using our personal and institutional resources to make sure that we win this battle. Many a times, you have asked that cancer should be declared a national disaster. Many a times, we have asked for practical prevention through regulations. And I want to echo the Ketka and team and Irene at the Taxpayers Association. We have engaged the National Assembly on legislation towards practical cancer prevention, and it is work in progress. In fact, as we speak, we are working with the legal team at the Department of Health National Assembly to craft these legislations to be sponsored by one of the members of the committee. So as you go to the parliament this afternoon, just know we are all together in this. We are all going to make sure that out of the 44,000 patients who are being diagnosed with cancer every year, if they must increase in the short term, it is because of increased diagnosis. But in the long term, the curve should come down. Down, 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 and down. And if one has to be diagnosed, because 70% of those are diagnosed with stage 3, 4 cancer, then let it be stage 1, 2, because of prevention and early diagnosis through screening, who, when they are treated, they will all be surviving, like yourself, this afternoon. That is our wish, and that is our prayer. So I want to, with confidence, again, give you, as survivors, as stakeholders, as partners, those who treat, those who support any of the 5 pillars in our National Cancer Control Strategy, because we are all involved in that we shall work together. And I want to encourage you to work very closely with the National Cancer Institute of Kenya, because we are your voice. There are many things that we do in our communities, but sometimes nobody gets to record and report so that you can also be acknowledged to be an award-winning. How many of us wants to be award-winning? You know, Benda Kilele, congratulations, and Mwalimu as well. I'm sure many of us, their work should be seen, and you should be seen to be making that difference. We will be able to acknowledge and report jointly. The reason why the National Cancer Institute of Kenya was established was to coordinate. So let us coordinate. Let us know how you want to help and how we can help you. As you've heard, our offices are very open, and we are willing to support when we have capacity. Allow me then to wish you a very good afternoon and provide commitment that we are leading in the cancer response, and together we shall win this battle against cancer. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Meli. We have heard all you have said, and we will hold you to it. We'll be camping at your office so that you can take us to State House.